Okay, so Morena is an absolute fruitcake. Mafs Australia, Wednesday the 19th of March, episode 11. And Athena and Adrian are having an argument because she feels like he never does anything. And she's saying like you never take the bins out and talking about doing the dishes and stuff. And he's just acting like a total child. Understandably, she says she's there to find a partner and not be his mum. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but if I was in a situation where I felt like my partner was never doing the dishes or never taking the bins out, I'm happy to leave them. I will leave them until there's maggots and there's blue bottles, and then they mention it and I'll say, oh, have you noticed that they're not done? Do them then. Now, I absolutely hate tidying up. There's certain jobs that I detest, like dusting and hoovering down the stairs. So I would say to my partner, I'll do these jobs if you do their jobs. It doesn't even have to just be chances each. But they're only in a tiny apartment. What they're going to be like when they live together in a house and she's got an extra bedroom for her son and there's so much more to clean. So you do have to sort these issues out early. He's obviously thinking that she's just in a bad mood, but we've seen since the start that he literally is like a child. He gives me the creeps. It's intimacy week and the boys had to get together to talk about their wife's fantasy nights and how they went, and Ryan is just so fucking cringy. He gives me the absolute boke. So he was saying to the boys, I was giving her all these amazing compliments and you look amazing and all that. We didn't see him say that she looked amazing. We seen him say, oh, I think it's really sexy that you take pride in your appearance and you look after your body and you go to the gym and you're intelligent and all this stupid shit. When she brought up the photo challenge to him and says, oh, like, this is your time to write your mistake, I did agree with him in the fact that he shouldn't have to change his answer. He told her what he thought and that should have been the end of it. However, when he brought up the crazy eyes, it was out of order, because when Jake said it, I thought he was joking about it's not that deep, like who gives a fuck what Jake thinks? But he's brought that up to her, obviously knowing that she's going to be paranoid about it or whatever. Now listen, she has got fucking crazy eyes. But that wasn't the time to bring it up. And actually, he probably should never have brought it up, because it's not as if you can just fucking change your face. To make matters worse, he said, at least she gives amazing head. And normally, under any other circumstance, if my partner was out with guys and they were talking about their wives and somebody said that, I don't think that that's offensive. I know that a lot of people don't really like that to be brought up in conversations because they think it's disrespectful or whatever, right? I personally, that wouldn't bother me. But it's the fact that he's brought up this situation where they weren't getting on, and then it's like, oh, we kind of had a disagreement, but I still got this at the end of the night, which was embarrassing. And then the fact that he kept going on about it and elaborating on it, and the more he was talking, the more I was like, he is fucking clueless, man. Somebody shut him up. And I didn't understand why Alessandra didn't say, like, she didn't point out, like, why do you think it's not okay to say that right now? Or why do you think that that's inappropriate to say? She's supposed to be a coach. And I feel like it was her job to actually bring it up. Meanwhile, all the guys just sat there and didn't say anything because they were in shock. She wants somebody who's going to worship the ground she walks on because she thinks she's God's gift to mankind. And he's obviously not the right one for her. I don't know who it's going to be, but good luck to him. Serious question here. Is there anybody who watches this and goes, oh, do you know what? He's hot. He's such a warrior. He's so masculine. Bit of him. I hope he's single now. I think I'll drop into his DMs. Is there any human being out there that thinks that about him? Let me know in the comments. Ray and Jeff have been in the friend zone for a long time and they're trying to get the spark back. And their task, they had to sit and look into each other's eyes for, I think it was 3 minutes, which is quite a long time. And then do a make-out session for 2. That doesn't seem like a long time, but when you're sitting kissing like that in front of a camera for 2 minutes, that is awkward. Tony and Morena. What can I even say? I think she's said it all. I think she's said enough for all is in that episode. Poor Tony walked in, he was excited to tell her what happened with the boys, and she just cut him off and says, oh, I'm reading this great book about affirmations, and then read some of the shittest affirmations I've ever heard in my life. And listen, I read affirmations every single day, and even I thought, what the fuck is wrong with her? Because she instantly cut him off, he says, oh, I'm just tired or whatever. He went to go and make coffee and she carried on reading out her fucking shit affirmations. And he's exhausted. I was exhausted for him. And I know that this show is edited to make people look bad, but even in the short clips that you see her speaking, you can tell that she's talking as much as he says she does. As you can imagine, if you watch my videos, you'll know that I talk a lot. I talk a lot of shit constantly, but at least I'll sit down with my partner and ask them, how was your day, how are you feeling, and ask them about themselves. And I can shut up for at least 2 minutes. Maybe no longer than 2 minutes, but at least 2. He's tried to address the situation with her, and her feelings are hurt. And she's valid for having hurt feelings, but it's the way she goes about it. He's then sitting down and he's trying to say, just let me speak sometimes. And then she's like, oh, well, you told me not to talk, so I'll just not talk. Oh, you told me not to speak, so I'll just not speak. And then she's got the cheek to fucking call him a child. Are you joking? Then when she was actually standing there, she says, oh, I'm happy to not talk, blah, 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 and I can just not talk, blah, blah, blah. When does the not talking come into it? When are you going to start? I put a timer on my watch. See the way she constantly goes on about her ex? I was treated this way for 29 years, and I wasn't loved for 29 years, and I'll not be doing this again because nobody gives a fuck, Mirena. You've been split up for at least 7 years and you're still fucking going on about it. Go to therapy. Therapy's the only thing that's going to help you at this point because you're absolutely fucking obsessed. And I know she's probably got PTSD or whatever, but that's not Tony's fault, and she's taking it all out on him. One of my pal's mums was separated from her husband for like 30 years, and she constantly went on about it. She constantly talked about him. He used to say this to me, he used to say that to me, and I used to say to her, you need to talk to somebody. Because if all this time has passed, 3 decades, and that person is still in your head 24/7, there's a problem. And I'm not trying to be nasty here, but no wonder she's been single for 7 years if that's how she behaves. Tony went away to stay at his home, no wonder. Absolutely no wonder, because any time he tries to talk to her now, she'll just say, oh, well, you told me not to speak. You told me not to speak, and she's just been a total cunt. And then it showed you a clip of the dinner party, and she actually turns around to him and says, be quiet, little boy, or something like that. Now, this is the thing with a lot of women that does my fucking head in. It's double standards all the way. Imagine if a man at the dinner table turned around to his wife and says, be quiet, little girl, there would be fucking outrage. There would be an uproar. But it's alright for women to talk to men like that. It does my head in. It's okay for women to have a type and say, I like tall, muscular men, but it's not okay for a man to say that he likes a short woman with big boobs. There's always an uproar when a man's got an opinion. And she's just one of the women, it's just toxic as fuck. I'm certainly not saying that Tony's perfect, because he's not, but hopefully he chooses to leave, because I couldn't put up with that. When they first got married, I thought, oh, they look like a really good couple, I think they're probably going to last. Absolutely not. Run in the complete opposite directions and never communicate with each other ever again. But let me know what you thought of today's episode. Let me know what you thought of Ryan's comments. Let me know what you thought of Mirena. Do you think she's just a ray of sunshine? And I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.